Hello, rediscovering me, ladies. You might be thinking I look very red. It's making me laugh how red my face is. So this is the story. I went to see the doctor the other day because I'd had a liver scan and they said I had a non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. That was maybe a week ago, just less than. About 6 months ago, I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes and also 5 food intolerances. And when the doctor took my blood pressure the other day, it was high, and it's never been high before, it's always been on the low side. So he said I've got metabolic syndrome, which means that I'm at a very high risk of cardiac illness, heart attack, stroke, my diabetes getting worse, and my liver disease getting worse. So he said, what do I need to do about it? He says you need to lose 30 kilos at least. And it's blown me away really, because since last September, so under a year, but I decided to be body positive. I decided never to diet again in my life. I decided that weight loss wasn't the goal, but fitness was, and that if I ended up still being fat, that was okay. And so I started just eating whatever I wanted to eat. I don't know whether that's what's caused this. I suspect it can't have done, because this is the sort of thing that's gone on for years. Basically, I'm trying very hard for it not to, for my inner critic not to overcome me, because she keeps trying to say it's my fault. And that's because we spend so much of our lives being told that if you're fat and you're obese, it's your fault. But actually, I've done quite a lot of research since I saw the doc, and he says, well, not him, the research says it's not my fault, and that just some people are built in a way that means that they are unable to keep weight off once they've lost it. 96% of people put weight back on after they've dieted, which is one of the reasons why I stopped dieting. So how do you lose weight when you've got 30 kilos to lose and you don't want to diet? So I said to the doc what I'm going to do, and he says, well, you've got 3 options. I asked him if they had a bacon slicer, and he laughed, and he says you can have bariatric surgery. He says you can have medicine, tablets, or you can go on a diet and we can support you with that. And so I started arguing with him a bit. He's used to it. And I said to him that I knew that out of the different weight ranges, that the one that the people who live the longest are in the overweight range. How can that be? And I thought this was really good. He said, when you're 80, you need to have a bit of weight on you, because if you're ill, then you've got a bit of something to go on. He says, but when you're in your 50s and you've got weight on you, that means you're not going to live till you're 80. That means that you're at a high risk. I thought, yeah, that's true. So that statistic has been bandied about in a number of the body positive groups that I'm in, as a kind of proof that it's okay to be obese, but it's not good, because it's not good for you. So the reason I'm really red is because I've just been to the gym, because I've thought, right, well, the first thing is I'm going to have to look after myself right now. So I haven't had anything alcoholic to drink for a while, and I'm trying to eat more healthily. I have been eating healthily since the beginning of the year anyway. I'm nearly vegan in terms of the dairy side and the egg side of things, because the intolerances do eat some meat, but I try to be careful about that. And I've done all my research, and I think I'm going to go down the surgery route, because it would seem, surprisingly, that that's the one that is probably the lowest risk. Because if I go down the diet route, then the risk is pretty high that I'll put the weight back on and continue to get bigger, because at the end of the day I've been dieting for 40 years and that's what happened all the other times. And if I go down the medical route, when I've looked into the tablets, it's just like you're on them, you know, you're on them, you lose your weight, and as soon as you come off, everybody puts the weight back on again. So you have to be on them for a long time or forever, and I don't think that's very healthy. And you don't lose a lot of weight. With a bariatric surgery, you lose at least 50% of your excess weight, most people on average. So just have to deal with the risk at the beginning, but it resets your hormones, and hopefully that means that once I've lost the weight, I'll be able to keep it off. So if anybody else is going through this, I would be extremely grateful if you could post a comment. And if anybody else has been through this, I'd love to know what you chose and what your thoughts are, because it's really hard at the moment, and I'm just, you know, it's quite drastic, isn't it, to have your stomach chopped about. Okay, anyway, we'll see how we get on. Bye. Bye.